Welcome to part 12 of Wind Waker, and we are finishing the Forbidden Woods today. And before you cut the vines off this petal here, go across here and inside this chest will be 10 rupees. As if you need any money, that is. Anyway, use the boomerang, cut the petals off the vines, and it will form into sort of a makeshift raft. And of course, be careful, there's an Octorok right there. Yeah. Now, we're supposed to sail down the river using this pedal, but first I want to get a little something through this room right here. Just take a bomb flower right here and blow up this beam right here and enter this room. Inside we have pea-hats, boko babas, and more of those morph things. So of course, in come pea-hats. Again, I'm stealing their golden feathers, and I'm going to kill them with stuff. Come on, come to me. Yay. And come on, you stupid plant bug thing. And dead. Alright, let's move on, shall we? Now in this room there is a treasure chest that contains a treasure chart that once again will lead us to either money or heart pieces. And as you can see here, thanks to the boomerang, I can kill these boko babas with one hit. And that's awesome. No longer do I have to go in close range to slash these guys. One throw and instant death. See, look at that. Dead. Yeah, I love the boomerang. Of course, I want to kill these morph things because, again, they are more of a nuisance than, a thing. But I think it's just a way to get a clearing, pretty much back like a stepping stone without being bothered. Oh, and between the last video and this video that I'm recording now, I did some more research, and it turns out that the purple water in the Forbidden Woods is not poisonous. Nope. If Link falls in, he will not take damage. And that's odd, considering that the last time I visited a dungeon that had purple water, it was poisonous. And that dungeon in question was the Woodfall Temple from Majora's Mask. And this place does kind of remind me of Woodfall Temple. I mean, they're both woods-like. They both have living creatures along the walls. I mean, even the flower petal. You know that flower petal I had to cut the vines down in the previous room? It reminded me of those petals that, you know, were carnivorous meat-eating plants, unless you were in Deku form. So I find that kind of weird. I mean, I do not doubt that the developers of this game took inspiration from Woodfall Temple. So yeah. Anyway, here, what we are going to do now is grab a bomb flower from here and toss it into this hole that contains chest because, well, you know those flowers that seal up the chest and all that? Yeah, we have to destroy it. Like right here, for example. And now we can get inside and get the goodies. Of course, you can jump from here, but if you miss, you can crawl into the hole and get the treasure that way. So, yeah. And thus, this is how we get the treasure chart. And, yeah, easy. More money or more hearts. It depends on what reward we're going to get. Either way, it is beneficial that we salvage this treasure, because hey, I'm a fan of like staying alive longer. I'm a fan of getting more money, especially in the latter part of this game. Trust me, we'll get to it when we get to it. Alright, that being done, we are done with this room. Let's move on. Of course, you can either jump on that stump or just glide over using your leaf. It doesn't matter. And of course, being back in this room means that the puzzle has reset, which means we have to cut down this vine, the petals, again. So, yeah. And of course, be careful, Octorok. So, come on, Octorok, shoot me! I want to kill you! And it doesn't matter how you pretty much hold your shield up. As long as it makes contact with the shield, the Octorok's projectile will immediately go back the same direction it was fired upon. So yeah, I find that kind of weird that, you know, in past games that if you pretty much hold your shield up in a certain angle, the Octorok's projectiles will shoot in a different angle. But in this one, it'll just aim the way it came, so yeah. Alright, come on. Shoot me. And dead. Now I was thinking, why couldn't we swim across this place? Well, for one, there were Octorok enemies in the water that can pretty much damage you. And this ledge is a little too high for Link to climb out on his own. And don't forget, Link has a swim meter that can and will run out if you don't get to land quickly enough. So, yeah. And of course, on this piece of land, we will meet more green choo-choos and those Dexy tentacle thingies that can drain your magic. So, try and avoid them. And, yeah. This room right here will be sealed by spiked vines. And over there, inside that little area, inside the cage, that's the boss key. And to get that, we're going to have to trigger these switches here, and that means we're going to have to use the boomerang to get them all in one go. And thankfully, there are only 5 switches to strike. So the goal is to strike them all in a circle like so. Ta-da! Okie dokie. And once we claim our boss key, there's one more thing we have to do in here before we can leave. Yeah, this scene, la 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 la. Okay, as soon as we attempt to leave this area, some birds will bring a couple of moblins down to attack us. Oh boy. But thankfully, we have a boomerang equipped now, and we can use it to stun them for a little bit, so at least that way their attacks won't be too tedious. And we can also steal their skull necklaces. I mean, look at how they react when I steal. It's like, ooh, that's mine! Oh, that's mine! Oh. And look, look at that. He attacked his own partner. What a dummy. I got your necklace. Nya, 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 nya. Alright, come on. One kill, you guys. Well, one down. Alright. So yeah, thankfully the boomerang makes finding these guys a bit more tolerable now. And I can probably take more on as... and we're going to take more on as we go through the game, so yeah. And finally they're dead. And when they die, the door up there will unseal, which means we now have a way out, so yeah. If for some reason these vines will remain, they can never be removed by any means. Not that it matters, because when we get up to the door up there, by using the grappling hook that is, we will end up back in that room that contains all those stumps with all those morphs on them. Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty much gone in a circle, and that's pretty neat. Oh, here's the thing I like to comment about the scenery here. You notice that it is nighttime out there. Now, depending on when you actually enter this dungeon, either in the daytime or nighttime, I believe, the weather will either, the conditions will either stay night or day. And I think that's a neat effect. I mean, it kind of reminds me of, you know, Stone Tower from Majora's Mask, how depending on the conditions of the outside, the weather changes, and it kind of adds this nice little cool effect to the dungeon. So, yeah, I'd just like to comment on that. And of course, I could just swim, again, because the water's not poisonous, although I did not know it at the time of this recording, but whatever. What's done is done. Alright, we're done with here. Let's move on. And now, see that big pedal in the water? By using our Deku Leaf on the nearby propeller thingy, it will activate this pedal thingy as a wind tunnel thingy. And we can just use the Bud, the Deku Leaf, to get on upward. So, yeah. Now, at this point, we can use the boomerang to strike those two flowers blocking the door. However, there is something I want to do before I head on to the boss. And the thing is, I'm actually going to do some backtracking back to a previous room so that I can get a treasure chest which contains another dungeon map. Why am I doing this? Well, that treasure chest, again, can lead to lots of money and or a heart piece. So, what do you mean and or? It's or a heart piece. What am I saying? So yeah, in order to get up there, we have to use the Boko Buds to get up to the door, and then from the door, we will get up to, well, I'm going to start backtracking, but don't worry, folks, I'm going to cut out some of the backtracking because, yeah, I'll just tell you which room we need to go. So, yeah. The room in question is that big room, the first big room that we've encountered in this dungeon. You know, the one that had to go all the way down just to get a Knight's Crest? Well, this time we're actually going to go up to get the treasure chart. And we're going to use the Boko Buds and the Deku Leaf to go higher and higher. Now, I don't know if it's a good idea to go from here to the treasure chest because of this spiked vine right here. I do not know if I have enough momentum to make it. I was debating whether or not to go that way or go over this way to get into a position where I can glide over no problem. But ultimately, I went this way. But you gotta be careful here. There is a Boko Baba and two green choo-choos up here. Of course, again, thanks to the boomerang, it makes the killing these things a lot easier. Oh no, look! A joy pendant in a vase! Wow. I am racking these things up. Alright, and then from here, take this Boko Baba Bud and glide over to the treasure chest across. Now you're thinking, how come I've waited till now to get this treasure chest? Well, folks, there is another one of those flower thingies that's sealing the chest. You know, the ones that we have to destroy. And unlike previous times, we do not have access to bombs or fire. So, but we do have a boomerang, so that's why I waited till now to, yeah. And with that, the eye thingy is dead. And we get our treasure chart. Goody. So yeah, I had to do a lot of backtracking. I had to go through a few rooms of gondolas and whatnot. But hey, it was quick. But I didn't want to show it because yeah, I don't want to waste your folks' time. And I could have used some warp jars to warp to the first room and get over to this room quicker. But whatever. Anyway, we're going to go back to the previous room and continue on to the boss. Alright, let's destroy those flowers blocking the way to the boss room. Well, on the way to the boss room, that is, we still have to unlock the boss key. And of course, as we enter this room, we will encounter a pair of wingless Mothulas. And again, they're easy. Just make sure you pay attention to their pincers. And I tried to fetch some golden feathers, but unfortunately there are none. Which kind of sucks. Come on. I want to get some golden feathers. I want to give them to that Rito guard so I can get my heart piece. Anyway, once both Mothulas are dead, the doors will unseal and we get a treasure chest which contains our final joy pendant of the game. Yeah. Anyway, in the next room here, before we get into the boss room, there are more of these acorn things. They contain green choo-choos. They contain more morphs. Some contain rupees. And there is one in particular that contains a fairy. Now, I will pretty much be destroying a bunch of these acorn thingies until I find the one with the fairy. But don't worry, I've cut it down to where I've actually gotten the fairy. so you don't have to see me waste time. See, there's a green choo-choo right there. La la la, I'm gonna blah blah blah. I'm gonna shoot the cutting footage right about now. The acorn you need to destroy is the one that is closest to the warp jar, right here. And that one contains our fairy. I'll make sure I grab it before, there we go. So yeah, I now have 2 bottled fairies, which means my chances of dying have gone down significantly. So yeah. Now of course, if you want to, you can use these Boko sticks and the fire to burn off the wood that's covering this warp jar, and we can use it to go back and forth. Now, I have not been able to locate the second warp jar, but I don't believe it matters because you're warping between here and the beginning anyway. And you can use this warp to go back to the room so you can get that treasure chart from that big room earlier that I've showed you. Well, anyway, here we are. And there's Makar. See, I told you he'd be fine. The game script would not let him die, and, what the heck is that? Uh-oh, I guess I stand corrected. Yeah, folks, this plane here that just ate Makar, meet the photosynthetic parasite, Demos. It looks like a mutated Boko Baba to me. Alright. What this boss does is that it will grapple to the ceiling with vines, and it will use its tentacles to try and attack you. Sometimes it will use the tentacles to attack you in groups, and sometimes it will use those tentacles to attack you one at a time. Now, what we have to do here is we're going to have to use the boomerang to cut those vines attaching Demos to the ceiling. And once all the vines are detached, we can attack them then, like right here, for example. And of course, if you're quick enough and skilled enough, you can actually kill Demos within 1 cycle. And if not, you're going to have to pretty much repeat the process again. Now, in this playthrough, it took me... I had to cut the vines 3 times in order to finally kill them. So, yeah. Just keep an eye on which tentacle is flashing, because that's the one that will try and strike you. And of course, an easy way to avoid the tentacles that are ganging up on you. Notice the ground here. Notice how it moves and dust and all that stuff. That's them traveling. So yeah. And I like how the music changes, during the fight, as it's all protected, with this this phase, the music's all more intense. And once all the vines are cut and Demos is vulnerable, we attack it. The music is more softened, more lined up to show its vulnerability, and that's another fine thing I like about this music. See, like right here, for example, it's not as intense, it's more vulnerable and all that. So yeah. And of course, as Demos seals you and spits you out, you will take damage. So be aware of that. And thankfully there are grass areas that we can use to get more hearts. But overall, this boss fight isn't too bad. I mean, if you don't keep moving, if you don't pay attention, and that's the only way you could die if you just don't pay attention so yeah. And each boss in this game has its own distinct battle music, and usually it's one generic music at a time for a certain boss. Sometimes even 2, like in Ocarina of Time had 2 different boss themes. Yeah, but each boss in this game has its own unique music, so yeah. You know, I think Poison Ivy of Batman would love this plant because look how deadly, look how ferocious it is. I mean, she would love this thing to death. But it doesn't matter, because now we killed it! Yay! And as it dies, it spits out a heart container, and Makar, he is safe! Woohoo! And of course, the bud is wilting around Link. Yep. We have killed nature and saved the day. We are so happy. Yes I am. Don't worry, Makar's time is not yet over. In fact, Makar's time will begin later on in this game. Spoilers! Yeah, don't worry, Makar. We're gonna get out of here just as soon as I get my heart container and get more health. Yay! And then we're just gonna use the wind warp to get ourselves back to Forest Haven. Whee! Okie dokie, we did it. Alright, Deku Tree, I have rescued your precious Korok. Now give me my pearl. Oh, it's a heartwarming moment. Aww. That's nice. Now give me my pearl. Alright, good. Now give me the pearl. And that's a little too fast, man. Oh, that was close. That was close. Yep, we have Feore's pearl. Woohoo! 2 down, 1 more to go. And you can all guess which pearl we're going to get next and what color it will be. But for now, yeah. And the Deku Tree's right. The pearls will lead me to a great destiny coming up. And of course, with everything all said and done, the festival will begin. And we're going to listen to some music. And this music will be kind of a Gaelic-like and entertaining. So I'm going to be quiet while this music is playing. So let's enjoy it. Koroks, you could have sung in key a little better. I mean, Makar practices a violin a lot and it shows, but come on, harmony, in key, in sync, come on. Anyway, the Deku Tree produced a lot of Deku seeds for the Koroks to pretty much spread all across the Great Sea to create some forests, and hey, I'm all for having to see less sea. So do your thing, trees. And yeah, folks, we're going to meet these guys again throughout the Great Sea. And let's just say that their plan to create the forest doesn't turn out quite as well as they expect. And yeah. Anyway, at this point, we will hear Makar playing the violin right here. And yeah, that's it for this place. We're ready to move on. So yeah, so that was it. I mean, it's all nice and all good. We got a weapon, a worthy weapon, a long-range weapon. Yeah, we can use the boomerang out at sea as a weapon to kill things, and well, we will use it out in the sea. I can guarantee that. Now, before I end this video, there'll be a post box wiggling, and we're gonna get some mail. This mail will be from the Rito chieftain, Prince Kamali's father, and he'll explain pretty much how the post box work. That if you see any wiggling, that means that there is mail for Link, and he should investigate. And it's stuff that I kind of already figured out on my own, because I've already had this happen early on. So, thanks for the late arrival, Chief. But the Chief does give me a new heart piece, which means I will be up to 7 hearts just as this video ends. So, yeah. Anyway, folks, in part 13 coming up, I will sail to the next island to look for the next pearl and hopefully save Link's sister. So, yeah. I will see you later. Bye-bye now.